He handed you the Morello case. Right out of the gate.
That's what the paper says, ain't it? And what's it to you?
Case must be getting pretty cold by now.
Or you got something might warm it up?
Yeah, I might have something.
What do they call you, son?
Thomas. Thomas Angelo, sir.
Man, DevBot, after a beautiful trailer like that, I gotta know, do you have any contacts in the Mafia?
Sean, I have left that life behind me. I'm programmed not to form relationships with organized crime. However, I can call one of the developers of Mafia Definitive Edition.
Well, fantastic. Let's ring him up, DevBot. Joining me to talk about Mafia is the president and CCO of Hangar 13. It is Hayden Blackman. Hayden, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
So for people who haven't played the original Mafia, which is a 2002 release, talk to us about this game.
Mafia, the Definitive Edition, is a complete ground-up remake of Mafia from 2002, which is a seminal game that really launched the Mafia franchise. And in Mafia, you take on the role of Tommy Angelo, who is a cab driver that falls in with the mob during the 1930s, actually during the height of Prohibition, in a city called Lost Heaven, which is loosely based on Chicago. And as a member of the Salieri crime family, he really gets embroiled in a war with the Morello crime family, and we kind of explore that story and Tommy's evolution from cab driver to respected member of the Mafia.
I feel like in the last 10 years, we've seen HD editions, remasters that are more graphical updates, but my understanding is that this is far more than just a new coat of paint on a game from 2002. Talk to me about what a remake means.
Everything was rebuilt. So every asset, every cinematic was reshot, and all the gameplay was completely redone. Now, we've kept all the same big beats from the original game. The story is the same for the most part. All the big plot points are there. All the missions are there and represented. But again, everything was completely rebuilt from the ground up in order to kind of meet the expectations of today's gamers and take advantage of today's technology.
The location in pretty much every open world game is a central character. In 2002, we have seen a ton of gameplay changes between then and now, 2020. Can you talk a little bit about some of the ways you've updated the open world setting and maybe some of the new mechanics that players can expect?
So we do that a number of different ways. You know, one, we looked at how populated can we make it, and we took some of the kind of world interactions and some of the things that we did with, crowds and non-player characters and other kind of city life from Mafia 3 and put them into Mafia, the Definitive Edition. But we also looked at, are there ways for us to kind of redesign the city so it's more fun to drive around? You know, do we need to widen the streets? Do we need to make sure that there's not as many, 90-degree turns so that you can kind of coast around corners? And as we capture the feel of the vehicles, are there things that we want to do to make sure that the roads have, grip or they're slick in the rain? And so that, I think, brought a lot of life to it as well, because most of the way that you engage with the city is through driving.
I mean, speaking of rebuilding things from the ground up, I gotta ask you about the cinematics. I mean, they looked gorgeous in the trailer. Yeah. And I mean, what was the process of rebuilding all of those cinematics?
For us, it was really, how do we recreate these, again, taking advantage of some of the cutting edge stuff that we've been doing at Hangar 13. So, we have, really great facial scanning and likeness capture technology, a state-of-the-art mocap facility. So we really wanted to take advantage of that for, the Definitive Edition. So we did go in and we rewrote all the cinematics, again, to add some of that language and add some of that character development and maybe some of that clarity that we were going for without losing the essence of each moment.
Well, now it's time for my favorite question.
Yeah.
When can we play Mafia Definitive Edition, and where can people go right now to learn more?
Sure. So we are looking at an August 28th launch date, and we still, have a ways to go, and we're working on that kind of final polish push right now. But I'm really confident, really bullish in that date right now. If you want more information, you can go to mafiagame.com.
After seeing the trailer, I personally am hyped. Hayden, thank you so much for joining us at this year's PC Gaming Show. Once again, mafiagame.com.